There we are. We are here. Hello. I want to make sure we've got the audio working mostly all right. I'm only getting left. Why is it only left coming through here? That's weird. There's always something. Why? Maybe it's to do with my headphones more than anything else. Or maybe I'm going deaf in one ear. Maybe. I don't know. Anyway, hey, welcome to another episode. We are live again. I've had a few things happen in the last little while too, so let's change a view for a bit. Let's look at, oh my goodness, let's look at maybe, I think it's this view, this one here. Yeah, because look, it's back, my Kodak WPZ2. WPZ2. There it is. I've added this cold shoe mount to put on a video camera. I got a cough. So that I can get light on the subject when I need to. My voice, it always does this to me. My voice goes weird just when I need it to record. Pardon me. Yep, frog. There it is, stuck in my throat. Okay, so the cold shoe there is very handy. It's going to take it off because it's a little bit bulky right now. It's small rig. It's got a locking mechanism. So what I've got to do is pull this thing down. Two hands. Pull that down. Then it allows that to come off. Nice. And then I can put that like that. This, oh my God, this is another thing that I've discovered. This is why I've got it here in my hands. When I have this on photo mode, manual, so it's got a mode button right there. Choosing manual set. That means I can shoot and control what I can control, which is the aperture. No, I can't control the aperture. I can control the shutter speed and the ISO only. That's all I can control. To get around it, I have a neutral density filter installed, and because I'm getting into black and white photography, I put a blue filter over the front to give a bit more contrast in the black and white filming mode. So I've got that set for black and white, again, because it's got a menu system there, so I can just zip down to this filter or mode set, black and white. Oh, you can't even read it there. That's bizarre. Maybe you can there. See? Black and white. Yeah, it's got a whole lot of different modes. It's really cool. So I do that, and then I can take, obviously, black and white photos. What I did not know until I took it out recently with the Diogi Alfie, when I press video mode on it, it stops being a camera, still camera, and becomes a video camera shooting in obviously video and full color. So I don't have to change it back to color to do the video. It's really versatile. I love it. So let me show you some examples of what we've got going in the land of the camera. So like, check this video out here. It's blue because I had a blue kind of tint to it, because I had the blue filter on for black and white photography, like I said before, to give that extra contrast. But it's still not too bad. Like when you look at, let's see if we've got audio as well, probably a little bit. And so that's obviously Alfie. But look at this white flower that comes up here. Look how it pops with the blue filter on. That's awesome. So getting these little additional benefits of having the camera with the blue filter on top, crazy, because the white really shows up. Pretty sure this is with the blue filter on still. Could be wrong. There was one video that I wanted to show you as well, which I took recently for a quick update on what's happening with the world of the dwelling that I live in on this part of the planet. I went and did an experiment ages ago where I built my own windmill solar production, solar panel thing on a pole. Like I called it a power pole, just for a proof of concept to see if it would work. And it worked. I hooked up a voltage multiplier, let's call it, or not an inverter, but it increased the voltage from 3 volts DC, which is what the solar, wind and solar panel, sorry, the wind and the solar panel produced, and it made it up to like 24 volts. It was crazy. I think this is with the blue filter on. What am I retrieving out of the bin there? Oh, I got a keyboard. Yep.
Amazon spur of the moment purchase. $56 on Amazon. 56 Australian.
I actually like this keyboard a lot. It works really well.
I'm just charging it up now.
Oh, there it is.
I haven't seen one of these since my Palm Pilot Trio days. Do you remember the Palm Pilot? Oh, look at that. It's got a battery in there somewhere, so it's charging up. As soon as that goes out, then it's ready to use. Apparently I can wire up 3 devices to this. iPhone, iMac.
I got it on Amazon,
and my
56
Windows
bucks. It's really good. It's got a
PC.
trackpad there.
Touchpad.
Touchpad.
It's saying left and right, but I don't know.
Left and right
In the
buttons for a
instructions,
mouse.
talks
It
about
does
2
work.
fingers for doing dragging, 1 finger
That
for
works as well.
dragging. Left click with 1 finger, right click with 2. I don't get it.
No, it works really well.
Pads there, so
And
I don't
it
clever.
it does work with a Mac OS. I can verify that 100%. It does work with the iPhone and iPad. I haven't tested it on Windows 11 yet. I can do that.
Let's do our review of that as soon as it's ready.
But it does work really, really well.
Little YouTubes down here.
I want to show you another video of what's occurring outside. But this video camera, like, check this out. This little Pix Pro, whatever they call it. Look at I just love the colors in it. It's just fantastic. For $350, and then being able to like carry it literally in your pocket or, you know, wherever, like that's, yes, I've made a modification to it in terms of getting a cold shoe mount, and I've got a modification on there for the ND filter to give it a bit more control over the aperture, forcing it to go to f3, and I've got a wind muff on there to stop the noise wind noise. But man, 5-axis gimbal image stabilization built in standard, 1080p, which is fine, 15 meters waterproof, not resistant, waterproof. And it's really versatile. I just love everything about it. So like the video quality and the audio, man, it's like it's one little tiny mono microphone in there, but it just seems to work really, really well. Like, check this out. This is just a quick video snippet as well.
Are you keeping guard? He is. Guard dog. Guard dog? Yes. How are our batteries going? Did you step on it? Did you? No. That's good.
Oh yeah.
Lights we've got flashing. It'll take about 2 hours for those to charge up. So like I said before,
That's off my DJI Spark, my drone. I had it disconnected for quite some time, over a year. And all of the research I did on the LiPo batteries is that once they're discharged completely, they're dead. You have to throw them out. But these ones from DJI, they've got a bit of electronics, a battery management system basically built into each battery, which protects the battery from destroying itself basically. So it puts it into a hibernation mode. And if you hook it up back to the power pack, or power charging unit, and leave it on there after, I think, pressing the button, you've got to hold the button in, do a double tap. You hold it in once, or tap it once, hold it in for 10 seconds, I think. The light then starts to come on, one of them over here, and then it resurrects itself and it comes back to life. And then goes into an awake state, and it can charge itself up and it works again. So not all LiPo batteries are the same. The DJI DJI Spark batteries have that facility built in to protect itself. So if you have a DJI Spark drone by any chance and you haven't used it in a while, don't worry about the batteries becoming useless. Just give this a go quickly and you'll be able to resurrect your batteries again and use the drone. I'm waiting for this, not waiting, I'm trying to find this other video that I took because I've got some work done around the house recently, which I'm trying to find the video for. No, that's more of the drone. I'll do a better video about the drone batteries because that's interesting for me and other people who use drones on occasion. What's happening here? Where is it gone? Yeah, this is it. Okay, so probably start from here because it carries on a bit.
Running the aircon. We're running, that's originally a gas system, but it needs electricity. I laid the slab at last for the water tank to sit on this, so that's about 110 millimeters of concrete, and then it's sitting on about 110 millimeters of road base. And we've got our 240 volt power outlet here for a pump to go in there, water tank to sit on here. We're going to get the plumbers in. We've got to redirect the piping to go under the house from the stormwater from the corner of the house, this corner of the house, another connection in the lounge room, and then go under the house and then up and into the tank, and then we can water the plants down there. And there's our system for the solar. It works so well.
It does actually. That
Alfie, come on, we'll go out the back.
solar system, I think is the best thing that I've done. I'll show you a video. Maybe the next time we do this, I'll take a video of what's out there now because it's pretty much done now. All the stormwater connections are done. The water tank is in place. It's only a 1,100 litre tank, so it's not a massive one, but it's good enough for what we want to use it for. But that solar system, holy cow, that is so good. I've had 2 bills since we put the solar system in. The first bill, I was actually paid $529 from the electricity supplier because I gave them electricity. And the last bill, they put a bill in for $984 based on the amount of electricity we used in prior years. That's how much electricity we were using in wintertime. $984 worth, and I contested it and said there's no way in the world that can work. I supplied them my data from the battery system, and they came back yesterday and said, okay, we're withdrawing the bill, you don't know anything, there's $100 credit in your account. So I think we probably, because in the interim we got a smart meter installed, we lost track of how to measure accurately how much electricity was produced and consumed, etc. But based on my tracking of it and the data that's on that system, we produce way more electricity than we use. So the electricity supplier obviously doesn't want to pay us money for using their infrastructure. So they're saying, look, we can't prove anything, so let's just call it zero. So since that a smart meter's been installed, we can start measuring the exact electricity produced and consumed. And I'm anticipating that they're going to be paying us going forward. So it's well and truly going to pay for itself in about 3 years. After 3 years, it'll have paid itself off. And then after that, it just becomes, in effect, an income source. So yeah, it's really cool. Very happy with that. That's pretty much what I wanted to show you there. What's happening around other parts of the world that I live in. Where are we? So what's going on? Okay, so I applied for a job with Lepar, let's call it, and I got accepted. So it's going to be another retail world kind of a job, much like what's happening at Signub, but I'll stay casual at Signub and I'll go, I think it's a part-time contract with this new job. So it doesn't start for a little while because I've got to wait for them to basically get all the approvals they need, and then I'll do a part-time contract with them, and that'll then hopefully stabilize my income Man, I'm eating too much lately. And so I'll be able to both have a bit more income coming in and a little bit more time that I can just devote to stuff I want to do without worrying about, should I make money now or should I enjoy myself? I'm going to enjoy myself. On that note, I want to show you how I'm enjoying myself lately as well. Oh my God, it's so much fun. What we'll do, let's take this one over. So I've got more and more equipment, I'm sure, as you realize. What's going on here? Let's see. Can I do this? I want to see if we can get different views going. See if it becomes too annoying. That's going to be annoying. We're just looking at the desk. We'll use this view instead. Let's go over here. That view. Yeah, okay, cool. So, yeah, oh man, I'm loving this, I've got to tell you. I hooked up the Micro Freak. So that's working nicely now. What's happening here, when I press the key on the Micro Freak, it sends a signal through MIDI into the Roland, and so it's playing both the Micro Freak and the Roland with the one key press. It's going through that Behringer, I think I explained a while ago about this one, FX600 multi-effects unit. I love it. It turns it from a mono to a stereo. All of that is going both USB audio over to the computer and line audio, just audio analog into the mixer. So the Micro Freak comes in here on the Behringer. The Roland is coming in here on the Yamaha. The Behringer goes from the output to an input in the Yamaha, so it's kind of daisy chained. That all then goes out of the two XLRs, the green and the pink, over to the Rodecaster video, and then out to the internet. And what's happening is the guitar pedal boards 1, 2, and 3 are all hooked up together, again into a stereo system. That is basically the input here. So this is a effects send channel going in here. That goes to the input into the guitar pedal here, the booster, into all of that stuff. Out of that into this pedal board, the modulation board I'm calling it. That's really a drive and modulation. This is a modulation, pretty much pure, but it's got the looper in it over there. That also then comes in and out of this drive board with modulation as well. So I've got to redo these boards and make one of them the drive, one of them the modulation, and one of them the effects. So I've got to work out how to do that. But all of that is working, but it's just a little bit noisy because we've got, of recent, I've bought a compression sustainer pedal, which I grossly underestimated. This is awesome. There's a sound that is being produced at the moment by a guy on Instagram called Promptgenics, and man, I love the sound of it. It's so good. It's what I figured out what the sound is. It's like an e-bow. You know, there's electronic bows where it's got some kind of a magnet in it revolving. It hits a string on an instrument like a guitar or a violin or a double bass, or whatever, and it vibrates the string internally with that effect and the compressor to compress the signal, and with this effects pedal here, the fuzz, set to octaver, the octave function hooked in with the compressor, hooked in with the e-bow on a guitar, makes this sound that Promptgenics has made digitally, which I tried to emulate using Ableton Live, but it's just too difficult, as in my computer is too old. 2013 Mac is just beyond it. It can't cope, and so it fries itself. So instead of upgrading to a new laptop, I thought I'll try and emulate it with pedals, and I think I can do it. So I've just got to get that e-bow and then give it a go, and that should be fun. So continuing on with this though, this is fascinating. I've got to do another proper video on this because I worked out recently on the PV amp here, I can isolate the speaker. So I can turn the speaker off, the function of that off, by plugging in a dummy jack. I don't know if you can see it or not, right there. That jack there is plugged into the power amp. I think it's an input. Power amp in, yeah. And so it disables the speaker because it's using the power amp, yeah, to kind of shut the circuit down. And then I take the effects loop, return and send, plug them into the mixer up here, and then I use the preamp out over here to go into the mixer. So it effectively turns this into a guitar amp head, which I can plug my guitar into and then direct the circuit to go out into the mixer and bypass the speaker. So I can play around with the knobs here without making the rooms extremely loud with a stupid 80-watt power amp. So I've disabled the power amp in effect and just used the preamp, and it sounds awesome. So that's going in there. The guitar obviously plugs into that. I can then combine everything together by using that effects send input here to put the signal of the guitar using the effects pedals over there to come back in again here, along with the effects units in here, using that effects loop. Also all those guitar pedals there combine in with those guitar pedals over there. That's convoluted, I know, but it just gives me the absolute best flexibility to then make synth sounds to go into the Rodecaster. This all feeds into the mixer as well. So this also then goes to the XLR outputs into the mixer over there, the Rodecaster video, to go live as well. So it means I can have guitar, microphones, synthesizers, all of the effects units, all going down the one channel in the mixer. I've got to be careful though, because sometimes it gets a bit noisy. So to stop the noise being really bad, I can use a noise gate down here on the guitar amp, and that's actually really versatile because I can adjust that quite quickly with the single use knob here. Why is it not focusing? What's happening there? Let's try and use this. That's a bit better. Yeah, use that noise gate there for the guitar. That's a real baby one compared to this one here. This noise gate is a big brother to that. Same manufacturer, just a different format. So that one there will do the noise gate control for these pedals. And that's generally good enough to get rid of most of the noise while you're playing, but there's a lot of background noise that I'd like to get rid of as well. All right, there you go. So that's what's happening there. And the last thing I want to do is I want to start talking about music theory, but I want to make it so that it's really easy and very, what's the word? I want to have it so that it's not onerous. Like all of the music theory people that I've seen that are making, where's my chalk? That are making videos on music theory, they just overcomplicate it like crazy. And they talk about things that, okay, now I've lost my chalk. They talk about things that, like there's too many things they're trying to cover in the one video. I'm not going to do that. I want to just go through one thing really quickly, but I need the chalk. Where's the chalk? Where's my chalk? Is it here? Sure, I had chalk. Okay, I'm just gonna. I know what my friend James Rich is going to say, but you know what, James? I don't care. Where is that? Okay, I think I had chalk set up so it would be easy to That's crazy. Okay, so the other thing I want to talk about was all this stuff. I have not used any of that for 10 years. I got to get rid of it. And this stuff up here, I've used this stuff in the last week or two. This stuff here I've probably used last month or so. This stuff here I've used that stuff in the last week or so, but all that stuff, it's months. It's probably years since I've used it. Hang on, where's my chalk? Does that mean that I won't be able to do my theory thing? No, what I'll do is I'll use the computer. But what? I had the chalk near the chalkboard so that I could do chalkboard stuff. I don't remember moving it. But I must have. Because look, I've got the duster there. Did I put it down here? Chalk, chalk, chalk. No chalk. Can't believe it. Can you see it? I can't see it. Wait, I'll just go one more time over here. I've got it in. Ha! Chalk. I knew I had it. Dang, it's everywhere. All right, let's go chalk. What we're going to do, let's use the little one. Okay, music theory 101. I'm just going to start here, and then what we'll do is we'll go through and we'll do add on to this later. For now, what we're going to talk about is, I think it's the Dorian scale. So T, doesn't matter about the scale. All you've got to remember is tone, tone, semitone, tone, 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 semitone. I'm learning this, by the way, at the same time. So what does that look like to you? Tone, tone, semitone, tone, 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 semitone. So what we're talking about here is on the guitar, you've got, that's going to be the nut. You've got the guitar string, keys, etc., tuning mechanism up there. There's 6 of them normally. And then you've got the neck. I'm going to try and draw this the right way. Then you've got a fret, and 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 a fret. And there's like 22 or 24, depending on what kind of guitar you got. So the difference between here and here is a semitone, and the difference between here and here is a tone. So what we're saying is, if we start on this is going to be the little E string, there's the big E string. So if you're going to start from there, open, so that means O, open is E. Might I start on another note? Let's start on C. So you've got E, A, D, G, B, and E. This is B, G, D, A, and E. So for C, open is A, that's B flat, that's B, that's C. When you put your finger there on that string. The difference between B and C is a semitone, and the difference between B flat, it's supposed to be C, and C is a tone. So you've got a tone there and a semitone there. So on a guitar, you're looking at a tone and then a semitone. This, on the piano, you've got this. You've got a white key and a white key, and there's a difference of a tone between the two of them. And then you've got a black key, even though I'm colouring it white, that's black. So they've got a tone between these two. Oh, it's going to actually go there. And there's a key in there. That's going like that. I can't draw. So you got white key, black key, black key, and then you got a white key again. Now you've got a tone between there, and that's a black key as well. And then you've got a tone between those. Tone there. Let's do this right. Really, that should be, I'm doing this wrong, making it worse than I wanted to. Let's do this way. What I'm trying to emulate here is what's happening on a keyboard, and I got it wrong. Let's do this properly. So it goes kind of in the middle. So you've got, say for example, C over there, and then the next key you want across tone is going to be D. So it'll go like that. And then, starting on the wrong way again, doing it wrong. Can't believe this. Making life difficult for myself. Big white keys here. This is where the black comes in. So we've got, why can't I do this? Because I think I got it stuffed up in my head. Let's try this again. Here we go. This is why I want to stick with one thing at a time, because I'm slow as well. Tone, tone, tone. So we've got tone, tone, semitone, tone, 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 semitone. This is why theory for me is hard for music. It's not that hard, but it's just different. You've got to get your mind around it. So between these two here, we've got keys where we've got a tone and a tone between the two. And then between that one and that one, we've got a semitone. So that's where we've got our black key. Yeah. Black key in there. And then you've got a tone. So between there and there, semitone. Let's try it differently. What we're going to do is go like this. There's black. There's a white key. There's a white key. Then you've got the black keys in here. Black keys in here. And then you've got your... Why am I doing it like that? Oh, shit. That's all white there. And then you've got your white key along here. So, over here, there's a white key again. So, between here and here, you've got a tone, but between there and there, semitone. And so what's that going on is you've got tone, and then tone, and then between these two, you've got a semitone, and then between that one and that one, we've got a tone, and a tone, and a tone, and then a semitone. And that's where that pattern comes from, because the difference between the white keys is what we're looking at. And then to make the black keys appear where they are, you've got that semitone between them. Let me do that differently. That's confusing. Let's leave it like that. So there's our white key. There's our black key there. There's our black key there. Our white key there. And our black key there. This is why explaining things to people makes it sit better in your own mind. It's a very simple concept, but it's kind of difficult to explain. And I guess that's why people skip over it. So on the piano, you've got that. You've got, that's going to be C. There's D, E, F, G, A, and then B, and then it repeats again. So these are obviously the sharps, and the difference between the white and the black is the semitone. Same in the guitar. So the frets are what making our semitones separate there. And on a piano keyboard, you designate the semitone and tone difference between each key with the black. So you've got between C and D, one tone, but then there's C sharp, D flat in the middle, which is what that black key is there. That's why you've got this pattern of 2 blacks and then 3 blacks and a space in between. And it follows this Western style of music notation here. It's like a formula for making music. It's tone, tone, semitone, tone, 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 semitone. That is the basis of Western music. That's why we have this pattern repeating. And that's why the keyboard looks the way it looks, because of that difference in notes between C and D and E, but between E and F and B and C, we've got that semitone difference. And that's why we've got the 7 notes. Yep, and then that's the 8th octave, the octave up there. So that's all I want to talk about right now, is the basis of all of the music that we listen to, from Beethoven through to the Beatles. It's all based on that tone, tone, semitone, tone, 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 semitone formula. And that's why the piano is built like that, to follow that pattern. And that's why the guitar is built like that, to follow, or so we can follow that pattern. On the keyboard, on the piano, it's fixed. You can't lift those keys off and move them where you want without breaking the piano. On the guitar, it's a little bit harder to see because we don't have a visual representation the same way we do on a piano. What's happening with this structure on the guitar is that is like one string on the guitar. It's like you've got 6 pianos, 6 keyboards on the guitar fretboard. This is why it's so complicated. This is why I love the guitar. It's very, very complex compared to the piano. And you can't visualize it very easily on the guitar where you can on the piano. That's why I'd also recommend learning to play keyboard alongside guitar, so you can get music theory occurring at the same time as you're physically learning how to play. Because I learned, my mum's a jazz pianist and she tried to teach me, but man, I got so bored. I couldn't put up with it. I couldn't do it. And so I just learned by ear on the guitar. But I wish I had paid more attention to my mum and learnt music theory when I was younger, because it's harder now, as you can see. But basically, we've got 6 pianos on a guitar, where there's one piano, obviously, with a keyboard. So that pattern is repeating itself across each of the 6 strings on the guitar. Tone, tone, semitone, tone, 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 semitone. All I'm going to cover today is that. Just remember that. And that, the only other thing I'm going to talk about is the C scale. So you can see C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. Between them, you've got a tone difference, a tone difference, a semitone difference, a tone difference, a tone difference, a tone difference, and a semitone difference. So tone, tone, semitone, tone, 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 semitone. That's why it's there. That's why we've got that. Because in this key of C, there are no sharps, no flats. It's just C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. But it follows musically that pattern where there's a difference between the notes of E and F and B and C of one semitone. And all the others have a tone between them. And with that, that is the starting point for understanding music theory. Everything else follows from that. And I think this is why people move on super quickly and try and put more information on, because this is so simple that it should be easy to move on from and understand the rest of music theory. But I want to stop there. And you can replay that video and you can try and explain it to someone else to see how well you understand it, because that's harder than it looks. I had to go and put that together of my poor little brain, and look at me, I struggled so much. But that's what I wanted to leave you with. Tone, tone, semitone, tone, 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 semitone. That explains why a keyboard looks the way it does, with 5 black keys laid out on a 2-3 kind of a pattern, repeating pattern, because it's C, C sharp or D flat, D, D sharp or E flat, E straight to F, F sharp or G flat, G, and then G sharp or A flat, then A, and then A flat, sorry, A sharp or B flat, and then B, straight to C. And it's because of that Western style of breaking up the tones, the musical notes, into a tone, tone, semitone, tone, 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 semitone pattern. That's it. That's what I'll leave you with. Thanks very much. I've got to continue this red video. Man, it is taking so long. I want to do a really good job on it, but that's red. Oh my gosh, he's so good. The sounds I can get out of that are just incredible. Okay, on that note, I think we can, why is it not changing? Huh, I've got two cameras the same there. Let's see what else is running there. Okay, so that's it. I'll get my chair over here. Wish you all well. I'll just check to make sure no one's asking any questions or saying, hey, Dumbo, everyone knows that. Is there a chat? I don't think there's a chat. There's no chat. Okay, that's fine. I reckon I lost a lot of people when I was trying to explain the tone, tone, semitone, tone, 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 semitone pattern. All good. Oh, man. Okay, so I'll go and we will leave you all with an applause. Thanks for tuning in. Catch you next time. I will continue this music theory thing. It's not going to stop there, but I just don't want to mash so much more information into music theory when it's already, it's not difficult. It's just another way of looking at music where, say for example, you wanted to make something like a table and you had it in your head, the end product that you wanted, a table, 4 legs, flat surface, pretty stable. So you can just get pieces of wood together and start nailing it together and, you know, smack it together, bang, you've got a table. Awesome. Or what you could do is get tools together, make a plan, measure it up, cut it to the right size, and then join it all together in a way where it's going to be solid and it's not going to fall over and it's not going to need constant babysitting and repairs. Because guaranteed, the way of making a table just out of wood that you pick up and nailing it together without too much thought, it's going to result in an uneven surface. It's going to be rickety. It's not going to really sit well. It's not going to be learning from other people's experiences. And I think the same thing with music theory is when you understand music theory, you can get a Beatles song, for example, or sheet music from the Rolling Stones or books on music and see how a musical idea or a song fits in with music theory and how you can use that to make a song of your own which is lending or borrowing ideas of other musicians from the past. So trying to write music like the Beatles or the Rolling Stones or I can't think, Bruno Mars, people nowadays, I don't even know who's doing it the same way, but the Eagles, the Little River Band, who else we got? There's so many, I can't think of all the names, like Rose Tattoo, Jimmy Barnes, Diesel, the Bee Gees. Anyway, name any musicians that you think of. Like, they're cool, but if you wanted to really make something and understand the direction you want it to take and the impact that you want it to give it. So you want to make it a sad song, so you make it in a minor key. There's a reason why it sounds like a sad song and we call it a minor key. And then music theory lets you get a window, an understanding into why and how that actually works. And you can apply that not just to the key of C, but the key of A, B, C, D, E, F, or G, any of them. So it's a really valuable tool. It's like I said before, like building a table without a plan. It's like building a song without understanding chord progressions that work, like the 1, 4, 5. We'll get to that soon, but what I'm trying to say is it's worth the effort, and it's not really that much effort. The worst part about music theory is the way that people in the music industry of the past wanted to make it something where they could make a living from without having other people encroach in their understanding and their their take on music. So they made it overcomplicated. They deliberately made it confusing with multiple terms for the same idea or concept. So you've got a scale, you've got a key. They're the same thing. You've got a mode and you've got a scale. Same thing. You've got the terminology. So in America they use whole tones, I think it is, whole tones and half tones. And in the UK Australian system we use semitones and tones. So it's like whole steps and half steps. That's it. America uses whole steps and half steps. We use semitones and tones. Like they all mean the same thing, but they're using terminology to make it confusing deliberately so that it's more confusing and more complex than it really is. It's actually really, really, really simple. Like there's 8 notes starting from the low octave note and then the high octave note. And then in that, you've got that interval that I'm talking about, which is the Dorian mode, which is what all Western music is based on. So you can change the mode and then you get a different sounding scale, and that gives you a different sounding chord and a different sounding musical structure. That's why Eastern music sounds different to Western music, and Chinese music is different again to both. So, because they use different understandings, different steps in each interval between notes. So when you understand the context behind Western music, Eastern music, and why it's different, you see that it's just starting from a different foundational level. So instead of using 4 legs on a table, they're using 3 legs in a table, or instead of using 3, they're using 5, and that changes the shape. And it's the same thing with music. And music theory, I want to demystify it, and I make it as simple as possible. It's similar to understanding addition and subtraction in mathematics. It is no different to that. It's really easy, even though I had a really hard time explaining that. I'm so embarrassed by that. Anyway, there it is. But now I know it better, so I know how to start that conversation. But that keyboard on the traditional piano keyboard, that's why it looks the way it does, because of that. Tone, tone, semitone, tone, 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 semitone. That's the first thing my mum explained to me about music theory, and absolutely brilliant. Love how simple it was from that. And from that, I understand a lot more about music theory. I don't know it all. There's still an awful lot I don't know, but I'm learning. And as I go, I'll bring you with me and show you what I know. Because the other thing is, just quickly, you can apply what we're talking about to any musical instrument. So this push 2 has a keyboard layout different again to the guitar and the piano. What it does is it's got the notes all in here. So a note here, a note here, a note here, but between these two, that's the semitone difference. And there's the tone. So to make a chord, you've got to use these 1, 2, so 1, 3, 5, 7, that'll be the octave. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 0, 1, 2. So again, so you've got tone, tone, semitone, tone, tone, semitone. So anyway, you can, once you understand that and apply it to this kind of a layout, you can work out the chords that or the buttons you need to press to make chords and to work out where the notes are. This has got a different arrangement. I'll show you that next time, and show you the difference between this layout, the keyboard layout, and the guitar layout. All different, of course, but all ultimately coming from the same basic building block, which is that tone, tone, semitone, tone, 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 semitone. That's it. Okay, I've laboured the point well and truly enough now. I'm going to go. See you. Nice seeing you. Talk to you next time. Bye now.